Hello, album enjoyers, Liam here. This is the last of the trilogy of dealing with the audio fuck-up we had at the Monkey Barrel studio. So this week's episode and last week's episode have slightly less audio quality than we would like. We think they're perfectly listenable. Thank you to our editor extraordinaire, Chris Thorburn, for cleaning them up best he could with what was in front of him. We're basically running off backup audio, so it's just not quite there. But hopefully it's okay for you to listen to. We do apologise massively. And from next week, we'll be back to usual. Thanks for putting up with this whilst it's been happening. We've worked our hardest to make it work best we can. So hopefully everybody is okay with that. Enjoy the episode. Just a quick word to you, dear listener. A little reminder to sign up to the Enjoying Album Patreon. Christopher, what are some of the benefits for our Enjoying Album Ultras, as we like to call them?
If you become an Ultra,
yes,
you get early access, and it's getting earlier and earlier.
Yeah. It actually wakes you up in the morning. Chris just turns up at your house and shakes you awake and then throws a podcast in your face.
Top tier benefit. You wake up, I'm in your bed, and I'm shouting at you, saying, "Hey, new podcast!" No, that isn't one of the benefits. There are actual benefits. You get probably like 10 hours of bonus episodes at this point. You
Oh my
get
God, there's so
Williams,
many. Yeah.
Iron Maiden, fucking
Hamilton, Mogwai.
What's the recent ones we've been doing?
Ed Sheeran.
The new Ed Sheeran Patreon episode where we listen to Ed Sheeran's new record,
Yes.
Subtract. And, it has subtracted hours from our lives.
Yes.
And,
But enjoyable for you to listen to. The Ratings.
The Ratings, we'd listen to that.
We're at war with their fan base. There's loads of really good episodes already on there, and you get another new, fresh episode. It's just the same as these episodes, but hey, no adverts for starters.
If you dig the podcast and you want to hear more of the podcast, become an Ultra. Support it. Patreon was built on a culture of soundness, to quote Blind Boy Boat Club, and yeah, it's sound to help. If you dig it, then
yeah. If you like the pod, the best way to support is to sign up to the Patreon. It's £5 a month. Also, very, very, very soon we will be announcing some live dates for the podcast at the Edinburgh Festival and perhaps beyond. And patrons will get first dibs on tickets for that. So if you want to come to that, the best way to make sure you get a ticket is to join the Enjoying Album Patreon. Other than that,
so. Before we get into Kings of Leon, Youth and Young Manhood with special guest Josh Pugh, we got to answer a little question on Patreon. Funnily enough, we got Josh Pugh on. We got a question from Josh Mosh29.
do you think he likes the mosh?
This cunt loves to mosh, man. He's like caught in a mosh by anthrax. What's your favourite or most confusing movie tie-in song? I mean, Seal's Kiss from a Rose, coming from Batman Forever, is probably one of my favourites, alongside everything from the Godzilla soundtrack album.
Oh my God, Jamiroquai. I'm going deeper underground. That's Godzilla, isn't it?
The only Godzilla tie I remember is in Morrison's they used to sell the little 150ml cans of Godzilla cola, and it was green cola.
Do you think that's what Josh Mosh is talking about?
I hope so. On the other side of it, Idris Elba had a song featuring Cypress Hill on the Hobbs and Shaw soundtrack. He raps it in character.
Well, Idris Elba's like a fairly respected DJ as well, I think.
Well, I don't know if he's fairly respected by the DJ community at large. He's a bit of a fucking, dilettante.
Right.
But God bless him, he's out there and he's spinning.
Spring a bell from the wire.
Yeah. Yep.
I think my favourite sort of
Luther from Luther also.
movie tie-in, it's got to be Evanescence from the Daredevil soundtrack.
Yeah.
The Breville soundtrack.
Wake me up. Wake me up. I can't wake up. Wake me up and save me. Call my name.
Because that song only that existed beforehand without the nu metal rap bit, and it was because of the Daredevil soundtrack that we put the nu metal rap bit in. Is that right?
Listen, I don't want to get into the lore of Evanescence, but I believe it was someone from the record label.
Yeah.
Wanted them because nu metal was in. It was just a gothic operatic song, and then
they added that, and then it got put in the Daredevil soundtrack.
We need the Evanescence. We need to do it in essence.
Yeah.
We need to do it in essence. I can't keep saying that, but we need to do it. I think my favourite tie-in, gee whiz, man. I'm not even
We've already spoken about Wicka Wild.
The Wild West by Will Smith featuring Stevie Wonder. And listen, Stevie was there at the VMAs, man, and he was fucking playing the piano and he was doing the fucking head thing,
Yep.
I love the head thing. Stevie Wonder does. We need to do Stevie Wonder. So I can just do that.
Well, we'll get Aggers back for Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
he's a big Wonderhead.
He's a Wonderhead for sure. I listen. It's on the playlist already. I'd say if you haven't heard Will Smith's song Wild Wild West from the Wild Wild West soundtrack.
But who hasn't heard that? Who listens to this podcast?
We're going straight to the Wild Wild West. We're going straight to.
Wow. And I'm sure I spoke about how I sang that in the primary school talent show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wore cowboy hats.
Yeah, and I sang obviously the talent show. I sang Why Does It Always Rain on Me?
Yeah.
For the auditions for the talent show. And they put through Christopher Doyle singing Sex Bomb.
Wow, inappropriate?
Yeah, I thought so. But that's when you learn about life.
Yeah, that's when you learn about life.
So we've got J Pugs, aka Josh Pugh, on for this one.
Really excited about that.
One
Josh.
of the best comedians in the UK. A modern day Frank Skinner.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison.
Because they're from the same bit.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Josh was absolutely fantastic as a guest because he bullied Christopher throughout the entire episode, which was a lot of fun. So thanks so much. We should talk about our Edinburgh Fringe shows.
We're at the Fringe. Josh is at the Fringe. We're all doing Monkey Barrel. I'm at the Tron 7:15 doing my new show Scary Times. Where are you?
I'm at the Monkey Barrel 2 at 7:10 doing my show Chronic Boom.
I'm also doing a bunch of previews in Glasgow in July. If you can't be arsed getting the fucking fast train through, you can come see me at Blackfriars, the Bungo, the Stand with Roscoe McClelland, fellow podcast ruiner Roscoe. Man, come and see me do stand up.
Yes, other than that, enjoy your episode.
If you're a Patreon, you can skip the adverts that are coming up, but if you don't do the Patreon, you gotta listen to the adverts. Sorry.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Guys, you've been listening. You know the deal. It's stuff to shave your balls with, and it works. They've been long-term sponsor of the pod. We've both used the products regularly. Our downstairs bits are in tip-top condition because of... and you can get 20% off with the album code... With the code ALBUM20 even.
ALBUM20 code gives you a discount and you can get grooming products that are cut-free technology. Yes. Honestly, I don't even look at my cock and balls when I'm shaving them. I just take what's it called? The lawnmower?
Yes, the lawnmower. I actually put a blindfold on to test the...
I'm like one of those samurais who's so fucking in touch with like the force that they don't even need to see to have a samurai fight. They just take the lawnmower. Yeah, they don't. I do. I just go at it, man.
You know that scene in Star Wars when they put the blindfold on Luke and there's the little ball like flying around him and he knows where it is. That's what I'm like with Chris's balls.
That's we'll do each other and it's fine to do that and it's not weird. And
it's not at all.
It's just two platonic friends shaving each other's balls with Manscaped, and you don't need somebody like that in your life. You know, you can do it yourself. But
it's nice if you do.
It's nice if you do.
Album 20, get on it. Thanks so much. You're listening to Enjoy an Album, the podcast where two comedians listen to some of the greatest albums of all time. Arriving in the poker-faced wake of The Strokes, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club and the Libertines, Youth and Young Manhood was a breath of fresh southern air. A gaggle of hot-blooded 1970s throwbacks with more hair than Dolly Parton's wig storage space. Their chugging hillbilly groove wasn't overly deep, but it was heavy with hooks, snarling personality, and glorious imperfections.
Youth and Young Manhood, and we have right here a young manhood himself.
Yes, we do.
It is J Pugs, aka Josh Pugh. How you doing, Josh?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Star of the internet.
Star of the internet.
Yeah.
You were in a sitcom that my dad seen.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't know that guy.
What was it?
It was, you were a character in a sitcom.
How many sitcoms have
Well,
you been in?
I've only done one, but my mates look.
It was that one.
A guy from Glasgow has watched it.
Well, we have
They have TV.
We have TV.
No, it's not me why they'd want to.
My dad watches everything. He loves Vin Diesel films.
Wow.
Do you know how people say, oh, I walked in my dad having a wank and it was really like embarrassing or something? I walked in my dad watching Chronicles of Riddick for the 4th time. I was like, how many times have you watched this where I have?
Can you please just have a wank?
Yeah.
Make it all a bit more comfortable.
I like to push black, that's the prequel. Shut up, Dad.
So, Josh, thanks so much for coming on the pod. Very excited to have you here. As always, we asked our guests to provide us with a number of albums that they loved that they may want to talk about.
What other ones did you say again?
I had
M People.
M People.
M People, Bizarre Fruit.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. No, genuinely, Heather Small is. If she was American, she'd be like Aretha.
Yeah.
But because she's so good, and that my mum used to listen to that in the car when her and my dad split up. She'd listen to M People, and my dad. So then my dad would pick me up and he'd listen to Embrace. Come back to what you know. There's two people just heartbroken, and me just in the back just finding. That's how I found music. Basically.
Oh yeah.
Sat in the back of.
Josh started to tell me this story last night backstage. We were gigging together, and I interrupted this heartbreaking story about how he found music via his parents' divorce and said, "Save it for the podcast."
I've really been ruminating on that for 24 hours now. So thanks for that.
How are your mum and dad these days? Are they
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're good. But, and then I think the other one was We Live and Die in These Towns.
Die.
Yeah.
We live and die in these towns. Die in these towns.
Yeah.
Is that the Enemy?
It's the Enemy. That's like the nearest band to me geographically. So that's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Oh, it's exciting when a band near you get big.
Yeah, I can remember being in the local paper and stuff. Yeah. And then I think I just wanted them to be good. I don't think they.
I think they were really bad.
I think they were very, very limited musicians.
I think they were just doing the jam.
They dressed as mods, didn't they?
Yeah, they were into that.
And I remember reading Paul Weller did an interview and he was like, "Oh, there's this great new band called The Enemy," and I was like, "What, you want to suck your own dick that much that you just find wee boys who sound like you?"
Yeah.
Go, "What, you did me?"
And I think, I don't know for sure, but so all their songs are like kind of grew up in poverty. And I'm not saying that wasn't the case.
Secret Posho, they're called.
I don't think the secret Posho, but they're not quite Carth, they're not quite Coventry. The same way I'm not quite Coventry.
You're for that wee town that fights over a ball?
Yeah, I'm from that one. They're from a place called Kenilworth.
Kenilworth.
There's a lovely castle there.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll live and die in these listed buildings.
What's the thing with the football? Is it a big town football game or something?
It's like basically it's on Shrove Tuesday. They throw a ball out and it's just a big brawl really, and whoever's it's holding the ball at 5 o'clock is the winner.
Yeah.
And
it's so violent.
It's really violent, and it's used to.
Do you take part in this?
I used to when I was like 16.
Yeah.
Right.
Where nobody would actually hit you if you're 16.
Yeah.
Whereas now
that's what's wrong with this country.
Yeah. Whereas now I'm like an adult, I think somebody just would whack me. I'd just stay out of the way now.
Yeah.
And I remember being 16, going, I'm going to win this. Going in, like genuinely waking up on the morning, looking in the mirror, like today's the day. And I got down there, and before they do that, they throw out like coins out of the second story window.
At
like,
people?
Yeah, well, into the crowd for like the kids to try and. And a big guy was stepped up a curb and onto my toe, and fucking kid, I just went home before it even started. It was absolutely. Yeah, but like propping up on the end of like your big toe. Like,
We live and die in these towns.
I'm out.
My big toe is sore now. So the album that you brought to us instead is Kings of Leon's Youth and Young Manhood. So do you remember when this first came out? Was that were you an instant Kings of Leon head, or was this like a?
I think this was actually since I sent you this, I've been listening to it because I thought I had to prepare. It's doing my head in. I've listened to it too much. I think.
So it's enjoying an album, not like destroying an album.
Yeah, I've ruined it for myself. It's great. I think it's a great album. I was on holiday. I was in a caravan in France with my mum and stepdad. She remarried.
Do you remember him?
Yeah, he sound. Yeah, he sound. I remember it came out and it'd be like, because I think before that I pretended to like rock music.
Oh yeah.
You know when you first try beer, I don't really like this.
Tastes like what? It tastes like
Yeah,
cold piss.
but I know this is something I should like, and I think previously that's how I'd been, and I heard it like, oh no, I actually do like this one.
Yeah. What was the stuff you were like pretending to like?
Like, for sure, not even rock, like Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah, heavy metal.
Yeah, and like Papa Roach and stuff. And I was like, I think this is shit, but I'm going to go along with it because that's what most people say. And then I was like, oh no, that was shit. This is good. And I just there's something about finding it on holiday, and it was like a paper album.
Yeah,
like a CD
to go to somewhere and then come back different because you found something.
That's how I felt. I thought my life's going to be totally different when I get back up.
Caravan in France with 4 boys for fucking Tennessee or some shit.
Yeah.
Where are they from?
We'll get to that. They're from Oklahoma.
Alright, cool.
But they moved around a lot. But we'll get to that. So I was excited when I saw Kings of Leon on Josh's list because I was like, there's a lot to talk about here. Because I remember this when this album came out. Yeah, remember the music videos being on TV? Being like, wow, who are these cool bearded 70s freaks?
Yeah.
And it was music that I liked, that my dad liked, that my uncle liked. And we had that paper CD. We had that. We played it on the big stereo.
The paper CD?
It came in like a paper CD sleeve.
Did it? And then you
Josh just said that a minute ago.
Yeah, you loved it when I said it as well. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it came back to me. I was like, oh
you're
yeah.
into the nostalgia in that a bit. No, you forgot it. It's like a cardboard album, not a plastic album.
Yeah, it didn't come in like a plastic case. It came in like a sort of cardboardy, sort of little mini sleeve.
Like Tekken for the PS1.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Sorry.
And so yeah, they were like this cool band. They were huge in the UK. The first album didn't really pop off in the US.
It didn't even get top 100, but it went to number 3 in the UK album.
It was a huge hit over here.
This is insane. I've segued into actual research.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pass it off and say, what the hell are you doing?
What are you talking about?
I'd rather you if you're gonna just read.
I'm not what to do. It's right down on the fucking page.
You just of course it did go to the. That's not how you talk, man.
This isn't bully Christopher.
It is that, Josh. If you can do that for the next hour, that'd be fantastic. But then, obviously, when I was in university, then Sex on Fire came out, and they completely changed, and suddenly they were everywhere.
No, hold on a minute. I'm not happy with this. If I read a website a couple of days ago, and then I have a conversation, and I bring up a fact.
I mean, apparently they only shifted 60,000 units. And I think it was on January the 3rd that actually they broke the top 100.
You know that sounded like you ever have to at school do like a book review, and you hadn't read the book, and you're trying to get away with it by just using the stuff on the back. I thought from this was published in 2004. Describes as
The Guardian said it was a blistering read. I totally agree with that. Honestly. That's an element of the book report to this podcast.
I was, especially in terms of the amount of work we actually do prior to it going out. I was excited because they were one of these bands that had this big shift to like, okay, we're going to sell our souls to the devil to become one of the biggest bands in the world. And they did. And I remember sitting in the Students' Union at Queen Margaret's University. Yes, and it was playing on the big screen. Sex on Fire was playing. And, everyone was loving it. And they were all going, wow! And I was sitting there,
your sex is wow!
and it was already a bit of a hipster trope to be like, their early stuff is actually much better. But I was sitting there going, their fucking early stuff is so much better. These people don't fucking deserve music.
You agree with that, Josh? How do you feel? When do you think they got shite?
It's dead weird. So obviously a bit of like when they've got well known and like basically people didn't like it initially. Like Chavs were also into it. That was a big thing. And so I was like, oh no, they're still putting some good songs out. And then when Sex on Fire came, I was like, these guys are done.
I remember my band I was in when I was a teenager. We never done a show. We only played in the drummer's garage, and we were an indie rock band. And my dad's best friend was a drum teacher, and he had a student who was like, oh, he's in Garrahill, you're in Swinton. Why don't you go bring your bass, join this wee band? I was like, alright, went down. And we just went like into the same kind of stuff. But we had 4 songs we played. We had Use Somebody, one of the first bad Kings of Leon. And I had a bass break where it was like boom, 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 boom. And I was so proud of that. Yeah. But that's shite, that song. You know you gotta use somebody.
This is what they said.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, there's going to be a lot of this. Don't worry. It's going to be a lot of me and Chris singing and doing bass lines. And then occasionally repeating facts we've read on Wikipedia about an hour ago.
They went to number 3 in the UK albums chart. Place America. Sorry.
But the second album was dead good.
Oh, I'm honestly, I had Shake, Heartbreak, Pilled. I think that's better than this one.
Yeah, I think so. And there's proper. They'd evolved just enough, but kept enough of what they had originally.
Yeah.
You know what? It's doing a lot of heavy lifting on this album. Is a cowbell.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're actual I don't know if they're legit, like
cowboy people.
Yeah, or if they've just got a cowbell.
You think they've ripped that right off the cow?
It's still attached.
These guys don't even have a cow. California Waiting has the cowbell at the top that sounds exactly like the start to Little Sister by Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah.
But they actually don't use a cowbell, they use a jam block, which is a different thing. But it sounds very similar.
They've got another song, is it Joe's Head, on this, which sounds exactly the same as Thunderclap Newman at the start.
Thunderclap Newman?
We've got to get together sooner or later. It's like exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I only knew that because it was on a Vodafone advert.
I got into them because, I mean, obviously, this was part of the... I'll tell you the joke to hear the rest of my repertoire of my band.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had You Somebody, Brian Storm by the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
That
That was a good bite. That
was a really good bass. Like, that was good. And then we done Certain Romance by Arctic Monkeys as well. So it's like...
Yeah.
And then we done A-Punk by Vampire Weekend, which is like...
Yeah, you're doing a bass noise, but a saxophone mouth.
Yeah.
You're doing bass
Bass hands.
That's why they never promoted it out of the garage.
I was making a lot of mouth sounds when I couldn't remember how to play stuff. I would just go... And, people really liked it, but we never got a gig.
Do you know much about, the actual lads of the Kings of Leon? Do you know much about their background or anything?
No, I don't. And even now, looking at this, I think he lead singer.
It's Caleb Followill there.
Yeah, and then drummer at the bottom.
This is brilliant.
Sweet.
So it's like, I think it's lead singer, drummer, bass player, guitarist, and he's the cousin. They're all brothers and he's the cousin.
Oh, I see. No, I don't know loads about them.
Okay, well, we always start by doing a little bit of muckraking and
But you
digging
do,
into their
you know
background.
loads about them, innit?
Yeah.
Just off the top of your head, you know a few facts about that.
I just told you.
Josh is my favourite guest ever. I really enjoyed this.
I thought you were going to be great.
He is great.
And you're just Roscoe in a different skin. You're just a rat, and you come on and you ruin it.
Do the jingle.
People need to know how smart I am.
Do the jingle.
Okay. Secret Posho, secret Posho. You do fast and it feels like not sure got no money. You got Dutch Pro secret Posho.
So,
You like that?
That was sick, actually.
So yeah, as you mentioned, three brothers and a cousin. The Followills from Oklahoma. Their dad was a traveling preacher, and they would follow his dad around. And they were either homeschooled or they would attend parochial schools for a small amount of time, except for a 5-year period where they settled in Jackson, Tennessee. The reason
You have an issue with this?
No, he's reading it.
I'm not pretending not to.
I fucking wasn't reading it. I was reading it in my head, aka thinking.
So yeah, they basically drove around the southern United States in a big 1988 Oldsmobile, and they would camp. It seemed like a really fucked up childhood. I don't
The
think
dad was a mad alky.
Yeah, so I don't think these guys were poshos.
No.
I think they're legit southern crawlers. Crawlers, crawling from place to place.
Also, but preacher, if that was Britain and
You get your own house.
the dad,
Tax free.
your dad's a priest. But when it's Tennessee and he's a travelling preacher, it sounds great. But that is like, I don't know, something about America, and I don't know if you get this, but there's something about Southern America that just feels exciting. And I think, not to dispute Marinati, but that's what they captured on the first record.
Well, yeah, because he's got that drawl.
His voice is fucking mad.
Yeah.
He's got a really strange
Speaking of,
Can't take much more of that.
imagine how our listeners feel,
You're
okay?
the one that fucking brought this in. That's what it sounds like.
But yeah, speaking of, can you do these? I listened to the Maccabees for the first time.
Maccabees?
I quite liked at the time.
Yeah.
What a fucking mental way to sing.
What were they singing like?
Breath, just not.
Toothpaste kisses.
Kiss.
The Maccabees got a real slagging in the first ever episode of Joy.
Yeah, I saw them on the NME tour. Oh wait, I'll just read something out of my head. The Maccabees, the Big Band, the drums, and someone else.
Speaking of the American South, right?
Do you know what? I met the Maccabees guy afterwards.
Really?
He was so short.
Yeah, he kind of didn't look like a frontman, did he?
No.
I'm obsessed with frontmen that don't look like.
I had just seen them
Yeah.
outside the gig. Me and my friends go, oh look, there he is over there. And I looked at the guy and went, who's it? I had just seen him.
That's a little charisma here.
Did he recognise him? And he looked at him for half an hour and they played the fucking toothpaste shite.
So whilst I was doing the research for this, I found on YouTube our favourite interviewer, Zane Lowe, interviewing interviewing Kings of Leon.
On Sydney.
Kings of Leon.
With the 4 brothers.
With the Kings of Leon, bro.
Sydney with Jared Followill.
When I first heard this song, I lost my mind. It was so good.
I love that guy as well.
But here's the thing, right? This is like early noughties Zane Lowe. So like...
When he still had a bit of hair.
Yeah, and he's they're sitting in the studio and it's a green screen background that like keeps changing, so it's supposed to look like fucking Gonzo, right? And but this is like basically what they say.
Pre-Zen.
What they say is crazy. Okay, so he said, "So you're from the American South. So tell me, what's so good about the American South?" And they're like, "Well, the girls." And he's like, "Yeah, what's so good about the girls in the American South?" And he's like, "Oh well, you know, they got a little bit more to hang on to." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I like a big girl too, actually, something to grip onto." And you're like, "What the fuck, Zane?"
Oh yeah, mate. I remember the first time I seen a big girl. I grabbed a toss, you know what I mean? Oh, I had to get in there. The shift in Zane Lowe's vibe, he has become this kind of Zen master where like everything's good and he loves everything. But if you go back a wee bit, he was just like talking.
That's what they're all like, all these Zen masters.
Yeah.
If you go back far enough, like Gandhi, if you went back to Gandhi,
So you say going that far back, man.
Yeah.
He was slapping cunts about it.
Was it?
Yeah, man. He loved fucking fat girls in the American South.
He was a pacifist, but it was also like, you know, using certain parts as a pacifier. You know, like, he was something like he was a crazy guy, for sure. Anyway.
I have a quote from Johnny Burrell about the
Razor Light, you big Razor Light guy?
Yeah, I like the Razor Light album, yeah.
The Kings of Leon pivot to big stadium rock even. Johnny Burrell said, "Sex on Fire is basically the apex, death, and afterlife of landfill indie, all in one go."
That's the coolest thing Johnny Burrell.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was ready to hate whatever he was going to say. I thought, nah,
that is
Right,
I think it is bold thing to say from the person who wrote fucking "Oh my God, living in America." Does it mean that? That's basically the same song. Also, one of my favourite things that ever happened to the Kings of Leon was when they were on stage and a bird shat in one of their mouths.
Yeah, there was you ever had that issue?
Bird ever shat in your mouth on stage?
It's never happened to me.
That thing, I didn't really like
I'd probably, my style as well, I probably wouldn't even reference it, I'd probably just follow the
Yeah, I know that. Growing up in the middle.
So I'm single.
Yeah. You just fucking rimmed the wee bird's blackheads.
I think if a bird shat in my mouth, I'd walk off stage. I think that's fair enough.
Do you know, I was on stage recently and I was just doing my stuff and it was a kind of set I did loads of times, so I kind of wasn't there for that.
That's when you got opening for Jim Davidson.
Shut up.
If you gig with it, if you do stuff with it.
Yeah, he opens for him. Jim Davidson. He's a sport act.
You're such a rat.
One of my early memories of Jim Davidson, by the way.
Yeah.
You might know it.
Oh yeah, I know Jim.
He did a set, just to do his set, and then he brought his son on stage and they sang Father and Son.
Man, that's so nice.
And then that was the end of the show. It's that time to make a change. This little blonde lad just comes out. Just relax. No, just dead sincere.
Yeah, after doing like the most disgusting stand-up possible about every protected group in the UK.
So that's what Chris does now at the end of Jim's show. He comes on and sings that with him.
You're son. My son.
I'm playing the role of Jim Davidson's in the new film on Jim Davidson's channel. You know he's got a channel?
Yeah, he's got his own.
Have you just popped up
His
with a
own
new
streaming.
channel?
No, I don't know. But you know, I know for a fact that he submits scripts, which is handwritten.
Wow.
Himself.
I mean,
To himself?
No. to other channels.
Oh, okay.
He'll be like, oh, this is what you think to.
What do you think about this? It's just notes that you scroll.
I kind of respect that though.
Yes, if you make a mistake there, you're back to
You
square.
get the tip next to it.
I don't think even that is too far. I think you start fuck it out. He just chucks it away, starts again.
I love Jim Davidson, man. I remember being in a hotel room in London with my father, who was not Jim Davidson. He was a Glaswegian man who likes sitcoms by English people. And he was, and we watched Finding Nemo. We'd ordered the pizza. And then afterwards we stuck on Jim.
Vin Diesel, man. I didn't know Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel plays the fish that's the big nose in Finding Nemo. Yeah. Oh, he loves Vin Diesel, my dad.
So this album obviously like a bit of a 70s throwback. Now, what do you think? So, like, there's that other band that's quite popular now, that what they call Greta Van Fleet.
Greta Van Fleet, yeah.
And they're kind of like a 70s rip-off.
But they're like a Led Zeppelin rip-off. Whereas these boys were like, they just looked like...
So I read that the Pitchfork review at the time, which gave it this album 4 out of 10.
Really?
And it basically read as...
I'll take that.
Yeah, 4 out of 10. It's not sleaze.
It's a good base to start from, that.
Yeah, you can grow.
I think sometimes we're just ready for it, though. We're just ready for... Imagine another Elvis came out now. The result, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just... I wonder if it's... If there is a bit... Because they were so big so quickly that they blew up immediately after their EP.
The thing about a review like that is it's just an American indie company trying to distance themselves from like the NME.
Yeah.
So there's all these British magazines, and I went to number 3 in the UK album charts and went over there, didn't place the top 100. That's the thing, right? But
I've heard that.
yeah,
That was good.
And in the UK they were huge, and then it was kind of them going, oh, they're the flavour of the month, And when a journalist reviews something, they're not really going, oh, this is good or this is bad. They're going, I'm cool for liking this, or I'm cool for not liking it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if something's popular, they've got to give it a wee shite score. Do you know what I mean?
It blew up after the EP, so before even this album was coming out, and 3 of the songs were put in the 2003 movie Stuck on You with Matt Damon. Do you remember that film?
Wow.
It was like about two twins.
Oh, they were
conjoined twins.
Not Siamese twins, because you can't call them that anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's racist.
I don't think that's right.
Siamese twins?
I think that's one you can't say, surely.
What?
You saying you can't say
You can't say that someone's a Siamese.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Another difficult subject we're definitely handled here on the...
Yeah, there's a difficult subject. Track number 5, man, Song called Tranny.
Yeah, that was...
Why did you put this in?
I did forget about that when I was making it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't come up.
Yeah, it has, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, but what is the titular tranny there?
What is the context? Wow.
It's TRANI.
So I was on songmeanings.com because I had to get to the bottom of this. You know I love reading stuff and then putting in its my opinion, right? So I was on songmeanings.com and I was looking at this and I was going, oh. And there was these people going, oh, it's about the trans community. Then this guy, and then they found an interview with them and they were like, no, it's about like a tran radio, they're called?
Transistor
radio.
Yeah.
So it's a tranny on 10. And somebody was like, no, that's like a transsexual on a 10's an amount of cocaine. But they were like, no, it's not. It's like tranny on 10. It's like a radio that's been turned up to 10.
That's what I'd say as well if I'd written the song.
Yeah, so
as soon as you turn on, as soon as you play the album, Red Morning Light comes on, and you're like, oh, it's the Strokes. There's a start with the opening song. It's very big Strokes.
Yeah, I kind of imagine. I don't know if I think this might just be a performer thing. But when you listen to an album, I'm enjoying it as if it's me has written it and I'm performing it.
Yeah.
Is that what you've got in your head?
Sometimes, try and get away from that sometimes, but yeah, you can't help it. When you make stuff, you kind of go, oh, would I put that on first? Or?
Yeah, and I can't even imagine myself coming out to that. Just, they're not really saying anything, just, they just fiddle with something on the floor, come out the guitar and plug in, fiddle with something, and then just kick into the... I can't get the thought of me doing...
So when you listen to music, you're imagining it's your music that you've made?
Yeah.
Hello, Wembley.
That's probably... But I'm not smashing it. It's like always like a small local gig.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't even know he could do any of this. You know what I mean? It's like people being pleasantly surprised.
So it's a Josh Pugh gig and people come to see Josh Pugh, but then
No.
Doesn't do this on Instagram.
I don't know if... I've presented this like it's a common thing that everybody experiences, but I might just be a bit narcissistic, but I do.
I sometimes, if I'm singing along to something, I like to imagine that I am like performing it, but not that it's my song. I don't think.
Oh, say I'm the auteur and I'm like, and it's always the first time they've heard it as well. It's always like it's almost like I'm presenting
your new material.
Yeah, no, this is like me announcing myself onto the music scene. That's how I listen to all albums.
Right. And people must have been crazy.
Ain't love a surprise.
Wow.
Josh is fucking.
It's fun having a wee second.
But yeah, is that? And then even if I watch like a biopic, I watch the Elvis movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah, you can't help but feel like
you're just projecting yourself onto. That's what I mean.
Well, I think that's normal.
Really just a tonic.
He said Elvis gets paid on time.
Actually, that's a big theme of the film.
So I think it's common to like try and see yourself in stuff, but to actually imagine yourself as the creator of it, I think is a bit more of a Josh Pugh.
And people are just hearing it for the first time. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's like but it's like
wow.
But it's a proper like I come on, the microphone immediately feeds back. And it's like, oh, I'm
the crowd's like, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah,
and then, it's like, bang, bang, bang,
and then everyone's, by the end of it, people are all over me.
Youth and young manhood, eh?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, okay.
I loved, and I still love Molly's Chambers. It's such a cool...
Yeah.
Oh, the Chambers go to change, young man.
That's surely about a brothel.
I thought it was about the Chambers of the Fanny.
The Chambers of the Fanny? I don't think fannies have chambers.
The different bits.
But they're not chambers, are
You
they?
get the inside bit at the top.
But how would the bit at the top be a chamber? It doesn't make any sense. You mean the clitoral hood?
I didn't say that. Because they had that thing where, like, this record had the floral faces in front, but
I've been down and look at Josh and he's like, what is this? Is this? This is what it is.
this is it, by the stroke. The second record has, like, a flower on the front of it.
You thought that was the funniest one?
No, because they said in an interview, I remember at the time watching this interview, and they were like, yeah, well, it's like a fanny.
No, they said that.
Well, not in so many words.
No, they didn't say it, but they said it.
Wait till I get this up. I have shake heartbreak.
Yeah, but they probably meant it's in like a birth and like the dawn of a new thing, not just a fanny.
Well, look, it's a kind of fanny-shaped flower.
Yeah, I get what they mean, but I think it would obviously represent something, innit? Like some kind of birth or...
Yeah, fannies. They're talking about shagging the whole time.
Were they?
Molly's Chamber, man.
It's a different album.
This is what I have to put up with every week. Is it the second album that has Charmer on it? I love that song as well.
I think so.
It's such an unhinged. I love the screeching in that. It's such weird songs for like an indie band to have. She's such a charmer. Wow!
Yeah. There's a bit lot of that in this album. Just
is going down.
that's one on the album, which that's filler.
Oh no, that's a good one.
It is.
I like
but
it when they
just,
rock it.
when they're just fucking about.
Do you know 4 kicks on the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a screamer.
Yeah. I should have picked the second one, innit?
Yeah. I thought Dusty on this one was like it's like they're trying to play a type of music they don't know how to play. Do you know what I mean? It's like shit.
Yeah, it's like the drummers wrote one.
Yeah.
Let the drummer have one.
I had a good look around the discography on YouTube and listened to some songs I already knew, some I didn't, and
Obviously.
I was.
I'm being honest.
And Use Somebody, I put that on, and I had a look through the comments, and I found this week's YouTube comment of the week.
Unhinged YouTube comment of the week.
Okay, it's a bit of a long one, alright? So we'll stick with it. This is from Boston Blues. He wrote this on the YouTube video for Use Somebody by Kings of Leon 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago?
Yeah, this is very recent, okay? Yes. This song will forever hold a special place in the dead centre of my heart. I met my first and only girlfriend in 2008. The year this came out. We were both 16 years old and had just got hired at the same grocery store. We instantly developed heart eyes for one another. I remember we bought each other iPod Touches for Christmas. And I put this and Sex on Fire on mine.
Nice.
I would play it while we got intimate in my bedroom, staying as quiet as possible with my parents in the living room. We were sharing our hearts and our bodies without hesitation. It's still the closest I've ever been with anyone in the world 15 years later. We ultimately broke up after a year and a half because of my jealousy and anger issues. I thought I might find another girl like her to fall in love with, but it just never happened. I love you, Jasmine, forever and always.
Is that like Aladdin?
And then Derek has responded, what zero pussy does to a motherfucker. All-time favourite YouTube comment. I love it.
I found a pretty stale one. Okay, this was the Scary Carrie. 12 years ago said, Kings of Leon can be compared to a child. They are like your baby. You love your baby. You cherish your baby. But you know that not everyone is going to love your baby the way you do. But as your baby grows into be a young person and changes with time, like Kings of Leon is doing, you can only hope that people will love your baby just as much as you do. You have a baby, George, is that how it is?
That made less sense as it went on.
Unhinged, mate. Absolutely unhinged. We do a feature called Tattoo Woohoo, Tattoo Boohoo.
Okay.
Do you hear the theme tune for that?
Yeah.
With two guys reviewing tattoos, we're gonna Google image searching and we'll choose if it's Tattoo Woohoo or Tattoo Boohoo. We're judging the ink, yeah, that's what we do. Do full sleeve or face tat, big skull or wing bat. You pick the design, is it bad or just fine? A dragon or a skull, pretentious or dull? You cannot hide, and we will decide if it's Tattoo Woohoo or Tattoo Boohoo. Yeah.
Superb. Genuinely superb.
It's better than you think it's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah, when you set off at that pace, I'm like, this must be like a 15-second. This must be like a 15-second feature.
It's like a film, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So we've got some tattoos here. Are these? So whose tattoos are these, Christopher?
I don't remember.
Well, one of the band members.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's
I think
good.
it's Caleb.
So
No.
one of the other
bass
ones.
player. It's the bass player.
Okay. So are these his arms? So on one arm we've got a sort of.
Do you know who it is? It's the guitarist Matthew, the cousin, because he wasn't allowed into what he described as a bucket list golf course in Australia.
Really?
One of his big bucket courses.
They're not allowed. You're not allowed. You're not allowed into certain golf courses with tattoos.
That's what he said. He said, "Oh, is it the 50s?" And I was like, "I think people weren't getting allowed into golf courses for different reasons." I think it was racial stuff.
It's like
And like anti-Semitic stuff.
because that's you're not allowed in certain you're not allowed in onsens in Japan with tattoos.
That's because of the
it's the way,
Yakuza.
Yeah, it's the way of keeping the Yakuza out. But I don't think the Yakuza are big Australian golfers.
You don't know about those boys, man. You're surprised.
Obviously. So on one arm we have a Native American, in a traditional Native American headdress, and the other arm we have like we have a sort of
It's
sex.
Japanese, isn't it? Watashi.
It looks
No,
like it.
Watashi. Wow, that's what they sing in that song.
On the other arm we have a sort of sexy cowgirl, showing a bit of leg, and sort of holding a gun incorrectly.
So I was about to get a tattoo of a cowgirl yesterday.
Right.
A guy from Brighton was coming up to Glasgow to Deviltown tattoos. I would put him on blast, but it didn't work out on the day. And I was about to get a very similar tattoo to this on my arm.
Yeah, I've seen the design for it. So what happened?
It doesn't matter. I don't want to put the guy on blast. He was nice about it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll give that a woohoo for sure.
The cowgirl, I like. The Native American headdress thing
With
seems.
Watashi underneath.
That seems. I mean, I don't know the context of that, but that seems a bit off, doesn't it?
The nose is a bit off as well.
Yes. Yeah. Josh, do you have any tattoos?
No, but I would like to get one.
What do you think you're getting?
I don't know, that's my problem. I only know, I want it there.
Okay, so you know the
You know, like
on your
an old-
forearm.
Like an old sailor man.
Like an
Like
old...
my granddad.
Yeah, like just like a swallow or something.
I'm going to get a swallow in my hand with my granddad.
I'd either go there or there. We should maybe
You
get
can't
matching
put
one.
it on the arm.
Why does that mean I'm like gay or something? Like, you've got a tattoo on.
Oh, he's got a swallow in his arm. I see.
Oh, sailor!
You just don't know the rules. You're like, oh.
I was told this story before, but I remember I went to see Metallica at the SECC, and James Hetfield had a black handkerchief out his back pocket.
Yeah.
I went home, got my handkerchief, what's that called, a neckerchief? Or like what would a bandana?
Bandana, yeah.
Got my black bandana, paisley pattern, stuck in my back pocket, went downstairs, and my dad went, "What are you doing that in your back pocket?" I was like, "Metallica guy had it." He was like, "That's gay code." You go in a gay bar, people are going to think if you got that in the left hand pocket, that means that you want your ass fucked. You put it in the right hand side, it means you want to fuck asses.
I think if you're going into a gay bar, people might be wondering that either way.
I'd go one step earlier and owning a black bandana.
We love the gay community on the pod.
Absolutely, LGBT positive podcast.
Love those legends.
But yeah, I would like to get something there. So I've only just got over my phobia of needles. I was scared of needles for
How
years.
did you get over that? Did you get sea urchins?
The COVID stuff.
COVID got
yeah,
away with it. Yeah.
So it was a real positive for me because a lot of people died. And
It's good to see the silver
I'm
lining.
now in a position where I can get a tattoo potentially. And I feel quite confident.
Well, I think once you get one, I think then you'll get more.
Yeah.
That's generally what happens.
Yeah, I think so. I had my tonsils out when I was a kid, and they put magic cream on. The magic cream to put the needle in.
Oh yeah.
And it worked. And then I had.
Wait, sorry. What does that mean? The magic cream?
It's like a numbing cream.
Okay.
It's like a numbing cream.
Right. Anesthetic, right? You're like magic cream.
Yeah.
Very simple. Who was that person who was in the podcast and they had the thing? Ed Sheeran. Do you know about that?
He was on this.
Ed Sheeran on. He was talking about Ed people. He had a birthmark on his face when he was a wee boy, and then one time they forgot to put the anesthetic on, so he just lasered off.
Yeah.
his face.
Yeah.
Shit.
That stuff.
So it worked. The magic cream worked, and then the next time I had another procedure, and then they put it on, and I was fully relaxed. I'm like, oh, this is magic cream, I'm untouchable, and then it didn't work for whatever reason. And I remember, it took me years to get over it. I was scared.
Yeah.
That's why Ed Sheeran's scared of lasers.
Yeah.
Lasers are quite scary though, generally.
Yeah.
And if you're like tied to a metal slab in a layer, it's not. How often lasers coming at you?
So that country, the sexy country girl, that's a woohoo for me. I think that's a cool
I'm giving them
tattoo.
both a woohoo. I think they're cool tattoos, and I feel like that Australian golf course could maybe reconsider them.
Yeah.
We'll send them a message.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in touch.
We'll put them on blast.
What's on blast mean? Does that mean
It means you're like coming after them, like
in a
under the blast.
So if you put someone on blast, you're like, I'm fucking telling you off publicly.
Oh man.
I'm letting everybody know.
You ever put anybody on blast?
Nah, I would hate to be on blast as well.
Yeah.
I'm just getting blasted.
He's got a black handkerchief in his pocket.
Yeah.
He's getting blasted.
He's getting blasted.
I'm more a blast representative.
What are your favourite songs on this album, Chris?
Are we doing the playlist?
Well, I'm just talking about the album that we've all agreed to sit around and talk about.
No, I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's a stunning record, man. I fucking dug it. Obviously, more of an handshake heartbreak guy. I'm trying to see. I found that one thing. I was looking into this. I did a bit of research. Angelo Petraglia produced it, right? And I didn't know who that was. So I looked into it. He's produced. Do you know how you might listen to like this one and then that one with Sex on Fire and go, oh, that must have been two different producers? This guy was in a new wave band in the 80s, and then a record label just uses him to like guide young bands. So this weird old Italian man was writing this with them and like wrote all the stuff with them and like guided them. And that's why even though the bass player was like 14 when the band started, it's like the songmanship is so good because they had this weird old Italian guy in there like fucking.
I assumed that as well, that when they made the sort of crossover to sort of more mainstream alternative rock, that they would have had a new producer and then just got some new songwriters in to be like, well, this is what we want to be. So I was like surprised that it's the same dudes.
Yeah.
But I guess it must be weird. Like imagine, like so we're all comics, right? Imagine that like you were just big. Imagine like you were just massive in like Belgium for some reason, and you were like Belgium's top comedian, but you lived here. Do you know what I mean? It must be weird to be like really successful, like the way that Kings of Leon were really big in Britain, but not.
I can think of some examples of people who are like that. Yeah.
But it must be like a bit jarring, right?
It's a bit class.
Do you think
you
so?
can go be famous somewhere and then you can just
that's
go
good,
to
isn't it?
Aldi.
Like Mr. Bean. They didn't sell,
comedian. Yeah.
they didn't sell Mr. Bean to Italy because that's where he likes to go on holiday.
Wow.
Which actually, if you've seen the film Mr. Bean's Holiday,
Yeah. They go to Italy?
no, he didn't go to Italy
Did
on
he
it.
not?
No, but it went very wrong that holiday. he's missed a plane. He's missed his transfer. He's had a real stinker.
Did you like the first Mr. Bean film?
Yeah, same again. Everything went wrong.
Everything went wrong. He's in the airport.
Yeah.
They think he's got a gun. It's a thing.
Yeah.
He goes to the museum. He sneezes in the pavement. He tries to clean the snot off the paint. He takes the paint off. He then, this is really went wrong, draws a face on the face. He moves in with his family, which is the guy who played Dracula's assistant in that Leslie Nielsen Dracula film. It was just a complete. I think they should have refilmed it and tried to get it right the second. My favourite song probably would be, I don't know. Wait, let's do. I liked it. I thought it was a fun album. FIFA 04.
Yeah, it was on that.
Big FIFA song. You get any big FIFA songs?
Well, song 2 was the big one.
Yeah,
98. And then the other one, remember the Caesars?
The Caesars?
Yeah, Jerk It Out.
Sure. You gotta jerk it out.
Yeah.
They were up there.
I asked for that one. I asked for that. I did ask for that.
Yeah, us to sing it. Yeah. I think it's still getting annoyed at us singing it. Gotta jerk it out.
And I thought, God, that's all they had.
Yeah.
One song and it's starting FIFA.
Yeah.
What a strange trajectory for a band that is.
But it's got to be better to have loved and lost than never loved at all.
Yeah, not just probably this, not full shout out applies to that, but is it true? You might know this.
Maybe.
If he's looked it up.
Is it true there's a place in New York where all the hits are written?
Well, there's a few places. So this was recorded at Shangri-La, I think, which is like
this
a famous
was recorded
recording.
in Sound City.
Am I wrong there? Is Shangri-La?
Yeah. This was recorded at Sound City, which is where Fleetwood Mac's changed. What was the big Fleetwood Mac song called? There were Rumours.
Yeah, the album. Yeah.
Rumours, and then remember Dave Grohl went and done that documentary about Sound City with the nice, it's a big famous recording studio. Is there a place in New York where all the hits are written? Maybe in the 20s.
So somebody told me there's a guy called from Semisonic. Remember Semisonic?
Uh-huh.
So those guys now apparently this is what someone told me. Now I'm thinking about it. It might have just been this lunatic in a pub. But he said the guys from Semisonic have got an office in New York, and their whole day is just trying to come up with stuff for Adele.
Wow.
I think there is a few different. I mean, there is a thing from the 50s where there was just song factories essentially. And I mean,
Detroit.
Ed Sheeran still, even though he's a huge star, still participates in writing other pop songs for other people and stuff. So there are a few different places like that.
That's like Peter Kay doing Newsjack. Something to Newsjack.
Just send in a minute, see if he's still on.
Just
anyway,
Rishi Sunak.
You what?
You're a Rishi and the Sunak together. So Josh,
every week. Or do we like it and then do the playlist? Or do we do the playlist?
100 episodes. You still don't know anymore.
I still don't know.
So we talk about if we like it, but I think we've already said that we like it.
Yeah, you like this record, didn't you?
Yeah,
you enjoyed it. You actually got sick of it.
Yeah, I overdid it a bit, but it's a good. I think it stands up. It's a good album.
I honestly think these first two Kings of Leon records are just hit after hit after hit, and they embarrassed themselves. But I don't think that should stop you from enjoying the first two.
It's funny, isn't it, to actually go back and listen to it, because my image of the Kings of Leon is so marred by what they have become, this sort of big faceless stadium rock band, that you just used to saying, the first albums are good, but don't actually that often go back and listen to them. So to go back and listen to them, you're like, fuck, it was really good. It was really cool stuff.
My girlfriend was driving me through the countryside this weekend. We were just going over hills and seeing cows and stuff, and it felt like I was in Oklahoma. Felt good.
Could it really?
What?
Driving past Wigtown, did you feel like you were in?
I've seen loads of fucking cows and sheep.
Yeah.
And chickens.
I believe you've seen the farm animals. Did it feel like Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping on the wind.
Yeah, that Oklahoma maybe. Where the girls are so big, got something to hold on to.
Dude, have you ever seen a girl with a little bit of a bigger ass?
That's fucking Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
When I first heard this album, I played it twice.
Big ass is against nature.
Right, okay, we need to fucking wrap this up. So, Josh, every week at the end of the podcast, what we do is we each choose a song from the album to add to a playlist.
And then one track inspired by the conversation. So I don't want to pressure you, but the Seasons would be great. Check it out.
Well, it's up to you, Josh. So we'll let you. Let go of Josh go last, so he has a moment to think about it.
It's not really pressure me. You've given me an exact example, which I should include.
You don't have to include it.
It's not applying pressure. That's telling exactly what.
No, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that would be a good example.
Okay.
So, what's your favourite song from this album, Josh? If you had to choose one to add to the playlist,
I'd maybe go "Happy Alone."
Yeah.
Okay, that's added to the list. I'm going to put on Molly Chambers.
I'm going to stick on Holy Roller. Holy Rover Novocaine. Holy Roller Novocaine. There you go. Holy Roller Novocaine. I'm going to let it down. I'm going to let it down. I know. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then as my second choice, I'm going to stick on The Bucket, which I think is one of the most beautiful, saddest songs on the second record. It's like, what was it? This is the chorus, and he's like, 18 balding star. You know, and he goes, oh, falling hard. And you're like, this guy's so sad. He was 14 and he joined the band, he's 18, he's already gone bald. He feels like he's over the hill. Mate, you get your whole life ahead of you, don't worry about it.
Yeah, bald at 18 is hard though.
Bald at 18 is hard.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know I'm not bald, despite what people say in the comments.
Balding.
I'm not balding, I've always had a big
30 balding Chris.
I couldn't make 2 episodes and he told the people who listen to this that I was going to get a hair transplant.
Belgravia Centre.
Yeah.
That's spending that fucking Jim Davidson money. I'm gonna put on Charmer as well. So that's a quadruple Kings of Leon
Did
edition.
you put something else in?
No,
Okay.
I don't want to.
What do you think?
Josh, so
I'm going to go Search for the Hero by M People.
Wow.
oh, great,
choice.
fantastic choice. We're really happy to have that on the playlist. Wonderful, excellent.
Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
that. That's a really good.
I really enjoyed that.
Josh, you've been a wonderful guest. I particularly liked the way you picked apart Chris's personality live on the pod, and we thought that on record. That's good. Josh, and do you have anything to plug? You're coming up for a short one at the Edinburgh Festival?
Yeah, and that's, just
Your last show was called Sausage, Egg, Chips, Josh Pugh, Beans.
sausage, egg, Josh Pugh, chips and beans.
Yeah, that's such a good name. What's your new show called?
It's going to be called Existing La Vida Loca.
Nice. Very
And
cool.
that'll be at the Monkey Barrel Comedy Club. Sponsors of the pub.
Yes, and if you don't already, which would be mental, but if you don't, then make sure you follow Josh on line. I was going to say which platform, but you're a multi-platform guy.
I think you've got to be now, haven't you?
You got it.
You've got to be.
These days.
You simply must.
It's not as easy as just having an alky dad who fucking, your uncle just takes you out of a band somewhere,
How are you talking about these guys? That was a personal attack there for a second.
Josh, you were brilliant. Thanks so much. And thank you, dear listener or viewer, for continuing to enjoy the podcast. And we will see you next week on Enjoy an Album.
Peace and love in the new millennium.